James Longstreet, the Old Warhorse. Born on January 21st, 1821, James Longstreet is one of the most influential generals of the Confederate Army, if not the most controversial. Longstreet attended the West Point Military Academy. During his time there, he became acquainted with a young Ulysses S. Grant. This acquaintance between the two would grow into a lifelong friendship. Longstreet attended the academy until 1842, when he would graduate 54th out of the 62 cadets of his class. Most, if not all, the generals who served in the Civil War gained most of their first battle experience in the Mexican War. Longstreet was no exception. He fought in the war's most crucial battles, at Veracruz, Churubusco, Chapultepec, where he was also badly wounded. And after the Mexican War, Longstreet would serve in the Indian Wars, and by 1858 was promoted to the rank of major. In 1861, Longstreet was stationed in the New Mexican Territory. Quickly upon hearing of the secession of the southern states, Longstreet tendered his resignation from the United States military. Not long after, Longstreet joined the Confederate Army, and by July of the same year was placed underneath the command of Brigadier General Pierre Beauregard. With the war in full swing, James Longstreet quickly made a name for himself by playing a significant part in some of the most famous engagements during the Civil War, namely Battle of Second Bull Run, Battle of Malvern Hill, and the Battle of Fredericksburg. Longstreet's relationship with Lee is a complicated one. Lee often referred to Longstreet as his old warhorse, even calling Longstreet the staff in my right hand. In 1863, these men would be tested. In late June, Longstreet was met by a self-proclaimed spy, warning Longstreet that the Army of the Potomac was just miles away from Lee's main force. Without planning or time, Lee decided to make his stand at the town of Gettysburg. On July 1st, Lee's forces engaged the Union Army and forced it back through Gettysburg, all the way to Cemetery Hill. The next day, Lee struck the flanks of the Union lines, resulting in fierce fighting on several fronts. On July 3rd, Lee ordered a massive artillery barrage on the Union center. He then ordered Longstreet to send Pickett's corps to attack Cemetery Hill. Longstreet was reluctant to follow Lee's orders, pleading for the Virginian general to reconsider, but Lee had made up his mind, and Longstreet had no other choice than to order what would be known as Pickett's Charge. After the American Civil War, Longstreet would work with the American federal government, which was greatly criticized in the southern states. He would eventually work for President Grant as an ambassador to Turkey, and finally, he worked as a commissioner for the famous Pacific Railroad. On January 2nd, 1904, James Longstreet died in Gainesville, Georgia, where he is still buried.